Is Wrath of the Lich King Classic dying or is it not? I mean, a lot of people are playing Dragonflight recently, and a lot of people that were playing Classic mainly before moved over to Dragonflight because it's a freaking good expansion. But yeah, let's have a look at what Nixxiom has to say about that, and I will also share my opinion on that then.
Joyous Journeys is returning to Wrath of the Lich King here very soon to help people level up their alts to 80 in classic World of Warcraft. But what does this buff mean for Wrath of the Lich King and the people who are currently playing it? Is classic WoW struggling so much lately since Dragonflight came out that Blizzard needs to incentivize players to come back to Wrath of the Lich King, especially since Ulduar is around the corner? Well, today we're going to take to the community as well as the data that we've gotten through our research to find.
Yeah, but there's something we have to keep in mind. When Wrath of the Lich King Classic launched, a lot of retail players moved over because they had no clue what to do anymore in freaking Shadowlands, and they were like tired and bored of it. So a portion of the player base of Wrath of the Lich King Classic was in fact from retail, and they were just temporarily moving over. And those were people that I met in-game, and they even said to me they haven't played for years WoW Classic. Like, they played it at the beginning and early stages of TBC, and then they moved back to retail, and then they came back. And this is what I got from, like, talking to people there, so, yeah. And by the way, guys, if you're new to this channel, please don't forget to hit that subscribe button for more content.
Find out what exactly has happened to Classic WoW since Dragonflight's release, and to talk about what it means for this Joyous Journey buff to be returning to Wrath of the Lich King so early. So what lies in store for the future of Classic? Well, let's find out. So to begin, what is Joyous Journeys for those that don't know? Well, it was a server-wide buff that was added originally to the Burning Crusade realms a few weeks before the 3.4 Wrath of the Lich King pre-patch came to the game. And what this buff did is it granted everybody who was not level capped, a 50% increase to experience gains from all sources until the release of Wrath of the Lich King on September 26, 2022. Now, the reason Blizzard released this unexpected buff, the logic behind it, was to help people level up their alts and prepare themselves more appropriately for the release of the newest expansion of Classic WoW, Wrath of the Lich King. Which Blizzard, I'm sure, was sitting here thinking that it was going to be a massive success. A lot of people are going to want to play it. A lot of people were coming to the game to check it out. You know, veteran players from back in the day, new players.
And that was actually true. I saw a lot of players, like even before, like in the pre-patch, and when those like the zombie invasion and all that happened, like it was crazy. There were so many people standing in freaking Stormwind. And I thought this was like so fun actually, turning into a freaking ghoul and just attacking random people and stuff. Like I had like a lot of fun when I turned into one. I just jumped on random players and stuff. But it was also annoying because you couldn't really do anything in the towns, right? Like you couldn't go and check the bank and this and that because you were constantly being attacked.
Whatever, so it was just to help them, you know, get to Wrath. Because, let's be real, leveling in Classic WoW, it takes a long time. You can burn out on it pretty easy, to the point that there are leveling guides that pollute the internet on how to level faster. I mean, even me, like I made a leveling tips video just a few months ago, which you guys can watch after this one for those of you that are interested in leveling faster in World of Warcraft. The point is, though, is that Joyous Journeys, I think, was supposed to allow people to get to max level as fast as possible without suffering too much of a burnout. And if you didn't want to use it, innkeepers could disable Joyous Journeys, however, for those that wanted to just level normally. Well, how did the player base respond to this buff, you might be wondering?
I'm gonna quit! I'm gonna quit right now! I'm just gonna quit! I'm gonna log out! I'm gonna cancel my subscription! I'm gonna quit! I'm gonna quit right now! I'm never gonna play WoW again after this!
Well, they absolutely loved it. It was an awesome tool to help people level. We even did some searching on the internet, and there really wasn't much hate to be found for Joyous Journeys, except from, you know, Classic WoW purists, but that's not surprising.
Yeah, but the thing is, in Classic WoW, like, this is how I even felt in the past before, like, retail was a thing. When, like, TBC came out, Wrath of the Lich King, and I talked to my classmates back in the day when I was still a student, and like everyone said that they didn't like the leveling experience as much in WoW. Like it was fun and the zones were interesting, and how if you have this level, okay, now you're level 20, you have to go to another zone and this and that. Like it was interesting going through different locations based on your level. But what they hated was how many quests it takes to just reach like one more level and level up. Like I had like friends that said after 2 or 3 weeks they got almost burnt out. Like it's like, oh, I'm playing now every day 4 or 5 hours, 2 weeks straight. I'm still not max level, and I'm like, what are you doing? And like, oh, I'm doing this quest. I do sometimes fetching quests, kill so many of these NPCs. And some people hated leveling like that because it took them several weeks for maximum level, some even like months, depending on how many hours of spare time you have to actually play the game. So yeah, I think it's not bad to make people level faster, but don't make them level too fast. I think the 50% with how slow it takes in Classic WoW, this is like a very balanced leveling. Like they should have this permanently, the 50%. Just add 50% on top forever. That's okay then. Does that mean after like maybe what, like 4 quests, 1 level or something, or 5 quests? Like I don't know how much that would be. It also depends on what quest and if you have to kill mobs doing it, but that would be way better than doing 7, 8 quests for 1 level or something. That would be, yeah, much better.
Really. We even saw so much positive reception of the buff that some players began to petition Blizzard asking for Joyous Journeys to just become a permanent part of the classic experience.
Yes.
Or maybe somehow remove heirlooms and have Joyous Journeys become like a purchasable or earnable buff for players. You can see an example of a thread right here where a lot of suggestions were offered. Some people saying maybe once you hit max level on your main, all your alts automatically get Joyous Journeys, or make it so that you can purchase permanent experience boosts for your alts, not in the form of gear like
kind
heirlooms,
of like
but
pay to win,
just like a progressively upgrading buff that you can buy that exists on your alts. But anyway,
I don't think that's good. That is like a bad system, because that means like people need to spend real money to level faster, and that is, some would say it's not pay to win because it's not gonna increase your stats or something at the end game, but you get faster to end game. So in a way you could say this is sort of pay to win. Like I don't like this when if you spend money you get like benefits, like when it comes to like those boosts, I was already kind of like feeling, boosts, now people are going to spend money to be max level and they just skip through the whole game and stuff. Like, yeah, I feel a certain way about boosts. I'm not the biggest fan of them, to be honest, and to spend real life money to get 50% more XP permanently, I think that's bad. I don't like that.
As mentioned earlier in the video, Joyous Journeys was originally for the end of Burning Crusade to prepare for Wrath of the Lich King. But here's the thing, we're seeing it return to Wrath of the Lich King before the very first patch of it comes out, the Ulduar patch. From December 13th of this year to January 16th of 2023, Joyous Journeys will return to Wrath of the Lich King to help players level up their alts, giving them time also to gear them up and prepare for the upcoming release of Ulduar. At least, I mean, that's what most people are assuming. The reason why I say that is because, to be fair, we don't know exactly when Phase 2 of Wrath of the Lich King will begin, but according to Blizzard Watch, this screenshot here on your screen, we might see Phase 2 of Wrath of the Lich King sometime in mid-January, but it's all speculation right now. So what do people think about Joyous Journeys returning so early in Wrath of the Lich King compared to maybe at the end before Classic Cataclysm or Classic Plus or I mean, whatever Blizzard has planned next? Well, Classic players seem to be overwhelmingly positive about the sudden return of the buff. A surprise, to be sure, considering it's returning so soon, but it is a welcome one. But now the question remains, what does this mean for Wrath of the Lich King? Is Wrath struggling since the release of Dragonflight to the point that Blizzard needs to incentivize people to return to the game? Well, first of all, yeah, I mean, new expansions, of course, would put a little bit of a dent in Classic WoW's population, new expansions in the modern game. But before you jump the gun and assume that this is why Blizzard is putting out Joyous Journeys so early, according to the data, this really doesn't appear to be the case. According to this website, Classic WoW's daily player population, if this website is believed and is considered to be accurate, it is estimated to having a little over 1 million daily active players. Not subscribers, mind you, but active daily players. And this number that you're looking at on your screen comes from this month in December after Dragonflight's release. Now let's look at Dragonflight. Dragonflight, on the other hand, according to data taken from the pre-patch, mind you, has an active player population of 2.3 million players per day. And it's quite possible that this number has gone up somewhat since the release of the expansion. That would just make sense. Now, with these two variables established, it's very unlikely that Blizzard is doing the whole Joyous Journeys thing because Classic WoW is dying, or is...
It could be, I mean, like she said, it was over 2.3 million, right? And now it's like a new expansion, so it's probably like over 3 or something million, and in Wrath of the Lich King Classic is just 1 million. So if the other version of the game is like 3, even 4 times bigger, of course they are a little concerned, because that means like one game is like busy, the other one is kind of like half empty or something, right? So it makes sense, right? And they're trying to promote people to actually get to Classic, because maybe some people feel like now, oh, I can level faster, and I always wanted to play a Forsaken Warlock, for example. Like, oh, I think the undead are so cool. I would love to have like an undead mage or warlock, maybe even a rogue. Yo, I want to level one. Or hey, I want to be a human paladin. So now people can actually get into WoW Classic and not take ages to level up. That's a good thing, right? Like maybe some people will come. But yeah, I sometimes feel like a certain way though about like Classic WoW and like retail WoW. And this is probably coming from me also playing sometimes Elder Scrolls Online, and there everything scales with you, and you have sort of like the classic in the retail sort of. Okay, there have been like some changes and some new classes introduced, but they haven't killed off the earlier expansions, because you can still get to them and have a challenge, right? Like like everything scales with you. But in World of Warcraft that's not the case. So the issue is, if you really love the old zones and you're doing time walking in retail, you cannot even finish a whole expansion. You only can finish it half or even less, and you're already max level and you have to go to the Shadowlands. And this is the problem with like retail, that they are killing older expansions. If now in retail you could go to, let's say, Northrend and do the Wrath of the Lich King storyline, and everything scales with you, and even the items drop, they have the maximum highest item level, I think WoW Classic would be even more dead, because some people played for the old school playstyle and how like stuff scales and how stuff was like this and that. But I know that a lot of people are also playing Classic WoW because it's more difficult to level up a character. And if you're like in smaller groups and stuff, or you're like questing, you have a bit of a challenge in comparison to retail WoW, where you can be like AFK with your brain and you just press random buttons and everything dies around you. You have to actually focus a bit while questing in Classic, and that's what appeals to like some players. That's why they played it, right? So if like WoW retail in the future, everything scales and stuff, I would actually see a even heavier decline also in players in Classic WoW. But yeah, having 2 versions of the game at the same time out is kind of like, I don't know, it splits the community. It's good that we have a place where we can go back and remember like the good old days, right? But at the same time, it splits the player base, and some other MMOs solve it by just making all the zones scale and stuff, or making not too drastic changes, like smaller changes. But yeah, also the combat is just so different now.
In danger or whatever, because let's be real, despite Dragonflight being received so well, there are a lot of people who are not willing yet to give it a chance due to previous expansion letdowns. If you want a good example of this, go check out any of my Dragonflight video content on this channel and look at the comment section. There's a lot of people like this. It might take a few expansions before Blizzard truly recovers their reputation of only releasing the best of the best, which they used to have, earning back the trust of their communities. So it's really no surprise that I would say that many people are just going to be sticking to Classic WoW or other MMOs and not giving Dragonflight the chance that maybe it deserves after all the work that was put into it. If you want my opinion in this, I believe that Blizzard is bringing back Joyous Journeys so early to Wrath of the Lich King really because of a shift in the players' mentalities over the years. Players want to level faster. They want to get to endgame as quick as possible because the level up process, unfortunately, there's a lot of people out there that just don't value it like people did back in the day. Some certainly do. I do, for example, but I know there's people.
The reason why they don't is because we have so many other MMOs out there. There's like so much competition and their leveling is faster. So if you have one game where you can get right into action almost immediately versus one where you need to prepare for like weeks, months for it, like a lot of people will go for the game where they can immediately get into action, like do PvP, do cool raids and dungeons. In this game it takes you 1-2 weeks to get to there, but in the other one you need 2-3 months preparation. So of course they're gonna take the faster route. And not everyone is a freaking student and has like so much time. There are a lot of like players that are parents, have full-time jobs and stuff. So if you have your 3-4 hours of gaming time a day, you want to spend it wisely, right? Like hey, I have today 3 hours, I can sit at my PC and play something. What am I gonna play? So you're gonna play for those 3 hours a game where you can actually do something and not have to grind for like hundreds of hours to get a character mixed, right?
Out
Makes
there
sense.
probably in the comment section of this video that will say, no, I really love the leveling. But we have to admit that a lot of players, probably the majority, just want to get to level cap as fast as possible. Maybe not too fast though, so this 50% experience bonus is a good compromise. We also have to consider that Joyous Journeys has been received very well compared to something like Heirlooms,
True.
which Heirlooms are still a little bit of a controversial topic within the game. Were they a good idea? Were they a bad idea? Maybe it's an idea that needs to be expanded upon or reworked. I don't know. What do you guys think about Heirlooms? Let us know in the comment section down below. And also, I think the reason why they're releasing Joyous Journeys is just to help classic players prepare for Ulduar. And that's it.
Also, yes.
The population is fine. People just want to get to level cap faster. Ulduar's on the way. People were very positive towards Joyous Journeys in the past, and Blizzard is just like, well, screw it. Let's just bring it back. Instead of at the end of Wrath of the Lich King, let's just bring it back now. So, in conclusion, on December 13th, we will see the return of this buff to a thankful classic WoW population. And although the first instinct might be to assume that Blizzard is just trying to get people back on a classic to keep it alive because it's dying or it's in danger, the numbers show that that just really isn't the case. Classic WoW is doing just fine, everyone. It's doing fine, it's doing great, people are having fun. So all that said, if you're planning on leveling an alt in Wrath of the Lich King with Joyous Journeys, be sure to watch this video on your screen where I share the best tips for leveling in World of Warcraft based on all my years of experience. They're easy to follow, good fun, hope you guys enjoy it. Thank you all for watching, and I will see you all in...
Yeah, but I mean, the thing about like WoW Classic is these days, and that's how I see it, it's like each time they bring out every like 1-2 years or either announce that there's like a new classic, right? So first we have WoW Classic, then we have WoW TBC Classic, we have Wrath of the Lich King Classic, and what is coming next? Like at some point we're going to have maybe WoW Legion Classic or something. And like some people also from the classic community see this, that this is just like, oh, we're always like 4 or 5 expansions or something like that behind maybe in the future. So some are like, why should I play classic if I know that my classic in 1 or 2 years is going to be like, let's say, Cataclysm Classic or something. Like some people are already saying if Cataclysm comes out Classic, they're not gonna play anymore because they only enjoy TBC or Wrath of the Lich King and this was like the pinnacle of fun or something. And then once like Cataclysm or Warlords of Draenor or something comes, like some people don't want to play anymore, right? Like, oh, it's not WoW Classic, it's WoW Retail Classic or something, right? Yeah, that's what they are saying. WoW Retail Classic. That's a new phrase among the community, right? But yeah, like Dragonflight is now finally a good retail expansion. The zones look beautiful. They remind me actually a bit of like Northrend zones. Like some of the zones remind me a little of Northrend, just with better quality textures and the graphics look better, right? But yeah, that's the issue. Like if one expansion in retail is good, there's of course a decline in player base in Classic WoW. And how do you attract some players to give it a try again or come back? Give them more XP, right? So they can be faster and check it out. Because a new player or someone returning to WoW Classic, if they hear now it's faster to progress, they are more willing to come back because they know it's less time investment for them to give it a shot, right? So they can check it for like 1 or 2 weeks, then hopefully reach endgame and then see if they like it or not, right? So it's not too horrible that they give this. I hope that it will improve the reputation of WoW Classic a bit, and it's less grindy then and stuff, and more people give it a shot. But we will see how the player base will turn out. I'm still in the Dragonflight hype, so that's what I'm gonna play now. I'm not sure if I'm gonna return to Classic anytime soon. Let's see. But yeah, let me know in the comment section what you think about this. And if you guys are new to this channel, please don't forget to hit that subscribe button for more content. And if you guys enjoyed this video, please don't forget to give this one a thumbs up. I wish everyone a wonderful day. I will see you guys next time.